Hi, my name is Sam, and this is my Falcon Pitch. We'll start with my business idea and marketing plan. My idea is to be a freelance journalist and in the future a podcast host. What that would mean is that I would write for a bunch of different companies like Pitchfork or other independent newspaper sources like Spin or Rolling Stone, but I wouldn't be a salary writer, so that wouldn't constrict me to a contract, and I'd be able to choose the articles I write. And in the future, I would like to be a podcast host, mainly detailing stuff about the music industry, and I would bring in different voices from the industry, whether it be A&R people to the artists themselves to their tour managers, just to talk about the current state of the industry and what's going on. And as far as marketing myself, I would have a social media presence as well as my own blog and website. And I would charge about $50 an article starting out, maybe a little bit lower, just so I can establish my name with certain companies and they can see that I'm willing to write for them. And depending on the length and content, I would make it a little bit more expensive, especially if I spend a good 2 weeks on a project. I'd like to monetize it for more than $50. And in the future, I want to monetize my podcasts by featuring pre-recorded ads. As seen in some of my favorite podcasts now, they play about 2 to 4 ads per show, anything from hair dyeing to clothing. You can find pre-recorded ads pretty much anywhere, and that helps monetize. As for competition and financials, obviously my competition is other journalists, specifically salary writers that are already in contract with the company and are guaranteed set articles each week. So the way I would combat that is to have lower priced articles and diversified content. That would mean more than a story. I would have videos to go along with, and I could tie in my podcast and discuss more articles in my podcast. So it would be that extra element that would set apart from other journalists. And as far as financials go, as I said in the previous slide, $50 per article, but that's fluctuating. I would never go below $25 unless it was like a very big publication. Then I would consider lower just for the exposure, because that would be a good trade-off. So my expenses, there's not a lot since it's just myself writing. So my rent would probably be around $450, and then my other would be around $300, which would include traveling and eating expenses. So starting up, I would probably want to get a different laptop or a second laptop. So that would probably be around $800, maybe more, depending on which deal I would try to get. And if I did 315 articles over the span of the year, which is not that many, I would make about $1,500, which is over my yearly expense cost of $9,000. So if I were to go with this model, I would survive. I wouldn't die. And for investments, my only startup cost would be that laptop, which would be anywhere from $800 to $1,000. And I would like to ask for half the price of that as a startup, so anywhere from $400 to $600. And the reason for asking is I would give you shout outs on my future podcasts, as well as maybe a guest appearance or spot, or a pre-recorded ad, as I have mentioned earlier, and I will pay you back after a full year. And in conclusion, after my college graduation, I will start my part-time job as a freelance journalist until I monetize my work to the point that I will support my interests. In the meantime, I will work part-time jobs as well as barista and maybe some other things as far as in the news category, like editing and stuff. So that is my Falcon pitch.